Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Oh, I'm glad Free's here. That gives me a chance to show up a bunch of Free. I know we're not supposed to be envious. I mean, I sit here every morning and I preach against envy and anger and fear. Emotional poison stuff. And then I send you an emotional support mushroom and you send back envy. Thanks, Free. Thanks for sending me envy. Yeah, I'm sending you emotional support. You send me back pictures of shrooms with babes. Having more fun than the rest of us have had all summer. Yeah. That shroom had more fun on one weekend than the rest of us have had all summer. Yeah. I'm working on my envy this morning. I'll wait till you guys see. We're going to practice this morning. We're all going to practice. Thanks, Free. Thanks for the exercise. Thank you, Free. Thanks for the free exercise. My goodness. My goodness, Free. Who does that? Who does that? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We're gonna practice today. We're gonna practice today, Toto. Okay? We're gonna practice. Oh yeah, we got a lot to practice here. But before we do, I want to ask you guys something. Have you ever done a really big oops? Have you ever gone in a place? Well, I'll bring it around front. Here we go. Good morning, Free. I'm acting all mad at him. I'm not mad at you, Free, I promise. I'm so happy. The best part about it is I'm sure the energy that you and Carrie were bringing to that whole, everything you guys were up to this weekend is beautiful. That's the part I like the most. One little stuffed animal, stuffed shroomer. It is so beautiful. I said it yesterday on an IG post. To be zany. To be zany. Zany is a very, very good thing for a human soul because we live this life of serious poison. Lady, he looked like he had a ball. Okay? Oops. Wait for it. Who's ever heard the saying that if you broke it, you bought it? Let's say you walk in. We're gonna go look at the shrooms with Free here in a minute, but I want to do a human interest story first. This is going to be a human interest story, a very interesting human story. Have you ever heard the saying, if you break it, you bought it? You know, you go into a place, maybe even some stuff that looks a little fragile, and you got to kind of walk around being careful because you don't want to break anything. You know, if you break it, you bought it, right? Has anybody ever done that? I can't even remember what, but I'm sure I've accidentally broke something and I had to pay for it, like a crystal frog's leg or something. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? A little thing. Yeah, Pottery Barn. Dustin, I bought a lot. Has anybody ever, I don't even know, maybe it was I forget. Maybe I poked the eye out of a stuffed animal, or I don't know. But somewhere along the line in the last 66 years, I had to have broken something and bought it. So it works. It's part of the program of the world. Okay? Unless you break one of these. Unless you break one of these antiquities. Unless you break one of these. Okay? Now, if you break one of these, okay? Exception, that's funny. Unless you break one of these. Now, you break one of these. What the heck? What is it, Pops? Well, it's a 3,500-year-old jar in a museum in Israel. Okay? 3,500-year-old jar. Okay? So guess what? Watch this. Pretty close, Pacers. A 3,500-year-old jar has been accidentally smashed into pieces by a 4-year-old boy during a trip to a museum in Israel. I'm going to tell you this up front. We're going to find out something. This kid's got some nice parents, and the museum's pretty decent. If this were me and I were 4 years old, and I broke one of those jars in an Israel museum, I wouldn't make it back to the United States alive. My dad would have buried me somewhere in a Gobi Desert. I would have been done. Just saying. Okay? I would never have been able to make it home. All right? This kid, the Hecht Museum in Haifa, told the BBC that the crockery dated back to the Bronze Age. The Bronze Age, somewhere between 2200 and 1500 BC. And the reason this particular artifact was so rare is that it was completely intact. Me too. I would have grown 4 extra calloused butts. It has been on display near the entrance of the museum without glass. Okay, you're a dumbass museum. You're putting a 3,500-year-old jar on display next to the front door, and it doesn't have any protect. You didn't even put a red rope around it. You must have a lot of 3,500-year-old perfectly intact jars that you don't care about. Okay? And it's practically the museum's fault. Wait for it. Little 4-year-old boy, what's he do? I'm yelling at you guys. What's the little 4-year-old boy do? He has to go over and he tips it. He wants to look what's inside. I gotta check it out. Any 4-year-old would. I would have done it when I was 2. Okay? Clean up on aisle entrance. It had been displayed. They left it there because they believed it had a special charm. And they thought it would be best to leave it showing without obstructions. Kathy's 46. She goes, I would have looked, Pops. All right, Kathy? Me too. Kathy and I are like bumping heads. What's in there? The boy's father, Alex, said his son pulled the jar slightly because he was curious about what was inside. This caused it to fall. Duh. Okay, and Alex said he was in shock to see his son standing next to the smashed jar. And he thought at first, my kid didn't do it. My kid. However, after calming the boy down, they found out from the security guard the boy admitted he did it. Okay? Now here's what they do. Most kids, you're getting a beating. I'm not telling you it's okay, but you're getting a beating. At least back in the 20th century, 21st century, guess what they're doing? Guess what they're doing now? Who would believe me if I told you that they're going to close the museum down and give Alex and his son, the truant, the destroyer of artifacts, they're going to give him a special tour of the whole museum. Kathy, we want to see the rest of the museum, don't we? I saw 3 more jars sitting next to that one. What do you think? What? They're giving him. It's better than traumatizing him. I agree with you, nerdy. I'm giving the kid a hard time. How did they get a free inside tour of the museum after smashing its most valuable artifact? There are instances where display items are intentionally damaged, and such cases are treated with great severity, including involving the police, the director of the museum said. In this case, however, this was not the situation. The jar was accidentally damaged by a young child visiting the museum, and the response will be accordingly. A specialist in conservation has also been appointed to restore the jar, and it will be returned to its spot in short time. The boy's father, Alex, said they feel relieved. You bet they do. They feel relieved to see the jar restored, but they're very sorry because it will no longer be the same. Despite the rare incident, the museum says it continues to continue its traditions. Happy ending. We got one jar with a bunch of cracks in it at the end of the day. And a kid that'll like for the rest of his life. Remember when you touched that jar? Alex might hold it against the kid for a minute. Ancient super glue. Yeah, there's a certain kind they use. They learned nothing, Kim says. Nothing, I tell ya. Granny, it is sort of mixed signals. What do? You beat him? Beat the kid. Beat him holy. And then give him a tour of the museum. Maybe you make him work with the conservator to help glue the jar back together. Here, Alex, you put this shard on. Okay. Michael Allen. After the tour, they cut his hand off. That's not funny. No. That's actually, no. So anyways, I saw that piece of news and I was like, well, that's human interest. Give me 5 people that thought that was a human interest story this morning. Okay? Give me 5 people that are going to remember the jar in the Haifa Museum and Alex's little boy. Okay? The parents should pay a fine. Yeah, maybe. I know my parents wouldn't have let me near a jar. My dad, man, they didn't have leashes for kids back then, but we were like on emotional leashes. We wouldn't be able to get out of the way. Okay? Let's go look at this. We sent an emotional support mushroom to Free. The idea was to relieve ourselves of emotional poisons and things like that. Free decided to emotionally poison the rest of us with the emotional support mushroom. I'll explain. Envy is an emotional poison. Okay? It's going to be very, very easy for us to be envious of the experiences that Sonny the mushroom had. Especially when you see some of the people that he got to hang around with. Now, having said that, this is going to be a chance for us all to practice. We're all going to practice being grateful, happy for Sonny the mushroom, super, super happy for Carrie and Free, and we're going to do our very, very best to keep from being envious. Okay? Let's not wish we were Sonny. So this is Sonny. He's on his way to the Salt River. This is Sonny. He's on his way. Oh, I know, Dustin. This little shroom's been around the United States already. Nipper, I have one more to give away. Give me a name. Here he is. He's still in the car. He's still on the way. Here he is. This is Sonny. That's Free, the handsome one. Free's taking the shroom with him. They look like brothers, actually. They look, okay, Niffy. They actually look like each other. Okay. Free's cooler than this. He looks cool in this picture, and he's even cooler than this. Okay. There's Carrie. There's Carrie. Carrie decided to carry the shroomy. Yep, Nerdy, you see the resemblance. Okay. So here they are. They're well on their way to the Salt River. Okay. These are such great pictures. Wait for 1 second. I have to go get something. Excuse me. Slightly runny nose. Good picture so far? Man, if you guys had the chance to meet Free and Carrie in person, Carrie's a walking human living smile. And Free, well, he knows. Like if I was Game of Thrones guy, and I'm like the king of the empire, Free would be my first choice as the hand. He would have the little thing. He's talked me off the wall a couple of times. Free's a very, very good friend of mine. We wake up in the morning 2 to 3 to 4 times a week and give each other big hugs. Just saying. Now, here we go. So Free, they decided, I love the black and white. This is a black and white. This is a great picture, vintage picture. We should do more black and whites. Free with the babes. I'm sorry, Sonny with the babes. Sonny's getting himself some bar hookup time. Told you. I told you. I told you not to be envious. Gentlemen, are you practicing? Gentlemen, be practicing, please. Oh, now think about this. If you think about it in a life situation, how are Free and Carrie getting all of these random people? I'm sure they know them, but how are they getting all of these people to hold up a little mushroom and allow themselves to be taking pictures of it? What's the story they're telling people? What are they? No matter what the story is, you know it's going to be wholesome. You know, no matter what it is, those people are smiling. There's a glimmer, there's a ripple of just zany kindness coming from this silly little process. I can't even tell you how much that tickles my soul. I can't, it is impossible. The older you get, the more you'll find out. It's fun to be four again, even if you're not pushing over jars in a museum. What a gorgeous thing. Okay? And mushrooms, are they becoming more popular? Oh, you bet they are. Okay, wait. This is just so great. I have to say that Free and Carrie, they got Sonny out there. They got Sonny in the game. Look at these. What's going on? What's going on, Free? What'd you do? Bring him to a beauty pageant? I don't get it. There we go. He's with the wine, with the sommelier now. You guys know Carrie's a sommelier. Carrie is Lady Sosick right here, right now. This is Carrie. He went to wine tasting at my work. Carrie, used to be Carrie, now she's Lady Sosick. That's great. Thank you, lady, for doing this with us. Thank you, sweetheart. And you are a sweetheart. Check this out. I told you don't get envious. Okay, Carrie, good job. Don't get envious. Nippy knows who you are. Look at this. There he is. He's sneaking into or out of a box of wine. He's sneaking into or out of a box of wine. There you go, Dustin. It's a shroom. He just infused the wine. Oh, man. Okay, are there any more pictures in here? Let me see. Wait a minute. I think Free sent me another one. Hold on. One more minute. Give me a minute. I'm just having a ball seeing people have a ball. I know you understand that. Are we living a beautiful life? Just by being alive, we're living a beautiful life. Just by being alive. Where's the other pictures? Hold on. Okay, here. Here they come. There's another group of pictures. Okay? This was the night that he went to the wine tasting, right? Okay. Send. All right. Some more pictures going to pop up here. Okay, here we go. Okay. So here he is. Waterside. No, it looks like a theater. He's at a theater of some sort. Check this out. He went to the theater. He went to the concert. He went to a concert. That's what it is. That's beautiful, Bexy, what you're saying. Watch this. This is going to be a good one. There's Carrie and Free. And I believe that's one of their daughters. He went to the Dirty Heads concert. That's so cool. That's your daughter. She's so pretty. I'm telling you, homeboy, this guy went long. Look at this. Chilling. He's taking a break right now. He is taking a break. This is a great picture. I love this picture. Look at that party. Look at that party going on. I told you, don't be envious. Envy is a bad poison. Envy's a bad poison. How did they do this? How did they get this mushroom to be the center of the party? He went paddleboarding in the morning and concert at night and wine tasting. These are great pictures, are they not? Look at this. He's at the whole party. He's at the whole party. Free, we were all on the shrooms, Pops. Oh man, this is beautiful. Look at this. Look at this party he's at. He's the life of the party, Notorious. Look at this. This is so great. What? Wait. Don't look at that, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, close your eyes. Jesus Christ, I don't want you to look at this one. Jesus Christ, stop it. We're just looking for the shroom. Okay? That's all we want. Jesus Christ, would you look at that shroom? Okay? How do you go from that to that? Wait. Okay. Oh. Wait. This is so beautiful. Okay. Wait. What's he doing now? All right. We're moving on. Okay, I told you he was at a party. Look at this. Oh, it was that kind of party. Looks like a mush fest to me. Okay. Here's beautiful Carrie. Carrie got out of control. I have tears in my eyes. I'm laughing so hard right now. He's living his best life. And then here we go. He's smoking it out. He's done. That's it. I'm tapped. Oh, man. Oh, gosh, darn it. Oh, wait. What's this guy? I haven't seen the video. Look at him. He's floating. He's on the paddleboard. There he goes. He's paddleboarding. What's Gary? Free, I got to tell you something. You say that the mushroom is worn out. I'm worn out. Okay, just looking at these pictures. What were you guys doing all weekend? I'm worn out. That's it. Show over. I'm out of energy. Somebody give me 5 people. Give me some more likes too, please. But while we're at it, give me 5 people that think this emotional mushroom, a support mushroom, probably did his job this weekend. He probably did his job. I mean, he certainly got supported too. But I think Sonny was out there making a lot of people smile, along with Free and Carrie and their daughter. Give me 5 people. He was supporting a lot of people. He's in a mailbox somewhere right now, relaxing on his way back. Oh, top that. Next person that gets an emotional. Don't try it. That we're not competing. We're just having different experiences with our mushrooms. Okay? Free, I love you. Carrie, I love you. Thank you for spending so much fun time and sharing it with us. Because it means a lot to us to know that we ripple. As a community, what we do ripples. It means everything we do is worth it. Good job. Thank you. I could go on and on with that, but I wanted to cover something first. We have those where did the sayings come froms? We have a few of those. But before I cover that, I wanted to get serious for half a moment. This message is coming with a preface. I'm prefacing what I'm going to say. I'm giving you a first look before I give you the real look. The preface is, lately I've been talking about religion, and I say I don't talk about religion here. I guess I do. More, what I'm trying to say is we don't want to preach religions to each other and have choices on this religion's better than that religion, etc. But religion in general, I've been sort of slamming quite a bit lately. And I have an ulterior internal motive. One is I'm dealing with my own PTSD about separating from religious circles. And I feel like I did a lot of damage to a lot of people because I kept them in circles instead of freeing them. And seeing a different point of view now, I almost feel, it's not true, but there's a level of almost a responsibility to try to reverse the damage that I feel like I've done. I can't, and that's really not a mission. But it's a PTSD cycle. So, I tend to talk about religions and you're hearing them in negative connotations. I also tell you this, I don't care what church you go to. I don't care what religion you belong to, as long as it's a hospital for you. If you're being healed in the process, I'm very, very happy for you and for the place that you are. Most of those places aren't there for that. They're more about commercialization. They're more about domestication. They're more about causing you to become a judge, then you're a victim to, etc. But at the end of the day, if you belong to an outfit that is a true hospital for your emotional and spiritual, sometimes even physical needs, basketball league, I'm not saying anything negative about the place that you're involved. So I want that to always be very clear. I'm not talking about any specific situation. I'm looking at the generalization of religion through humanity most of the time when I talk about religion. I ran across an article last night that for a moment there surprised me. For a moment it surprised me, and then after that I was like, wait a minute, I think I'm not surprised. I think I'm not surprised. So this article came from a magazine or a newsletter called PsyOp, and online they're called psyop.org. Okay. Let me take it another step further. This is going to be a delicate conversation. Please make sure there's no children in the room. If there are any children here, let's have them leave. Okay, even if you're a parent and you have one of your kids around, well, it's an adult-only show. Especially generally speaking. Clearly, look at the pictures we just showed. But let's, and I'll tell you, I want to talk about sex. We never talk about sex here. Right? Badgie. We never talk about sex here. And sex is so intimate and it's so personal and it's something, and it's your closet and it's your bedroom, and I don't want to be in it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. At the same time, I don't want you to have anything to do with mine. But you know what? Sex is so incredibly important in terms of passions, emotions, and relationships. And so sometimes to skirt the subject is irresponsible. Does anybody agree with that? I'm not saying delve into it and spend a lot of time, but it would be almost immature. It's not mature to avoid the subject. Does anybody agree with that? So we're not going to avoid the subject. When it comes up, we'll address it, and we'll address it in a mature and appropriate way. Today, I'm going to be addressing. Thank you for agreeing with me, you guys. I appreciate that. It's a big part of life, Niffy, and we make it very secret. And we make it very guilt-filled, and we make it very shameful. There isn't an animal on the planet that does that except for the human. We've confabulated this, and it all came from, this goes back to our book, The Dream of the Planet, This Dream of Hell. The programs that we were put in when we were little children about how to be ashamed, how to sneak to peek, how to hide to masturbate. If masturbation's not wrong, why do we hide? What's going on? What do we do? Why is everything so hidden and secret? And then when we do look at it, we look at it through a filter of filth in the public level. We look at it, and I'll give you the perfect example. Pornography. Pornography. And there isn't a person here that hasn't experienced pornography at some level or another. Let's just be honest. We're going to be impeccable. Pornography. And at the end of the day, if you think of what pornography is, it's not sex. That's not even what sex really looks like. That fantasy crap that it's ruined more relationships, just like religion. It's destroyed more intimacies, just like religions and politics. Pornography. And at the end of the day, what pornography really is it's exploitation. It's exploitation. People being exploited. Oh, I'm a porn star. I know, I'm famous. I'm in Las Vegas. I'm pretty. You're being exploited. They don't even realize it because of the dream of the world. We don't even realize it because the dream of the world's so strong. There's nothing I want to see in pornography that is going to be honoring to my partner. It's certainly not going to help me grow spiritually. And I'm not trying to be, this is where I'm going. I'm mixing two messages right now. I'm going to mix two together. Religion and pornography. One would think that the more religious you are, perhaps the less pornography you involve yourself in. One would think. And then, you're not too religious, you're not too involved, you don't go to any of those major outfits. Sneaking a peek here and there, you don't feel too bad about it. Wait for this. This article. People who occasionally watch pornography tend to become less religious over time. But those who watch more pornography, more than once a week, tend to become more religious, according to a study published in the Journal of Sex Research. Did you hear what I just said? Isn't that counterintuitive? It's counterintuitive to me. That was why I read the article. I was, what? No, it's the other way around. Come on. I go to church a lot. I don't want to be a pornography guy. Is this interesting? Can I go on? Or is this a dumb subject? Is this interesting to you guys? Shut up, Kimberly. Should I go on? Mark's saying absolutely not. Yeah, I agree with you, Laura. It's the level of intimacy. I'm going to go on. Use of pornography, which this researcher defines as sexually explicit material intended to arouse the viewer. That's the definition of pornography. Sexually explicit material designed to arouse the viewer. It has increased dramatically in recent years as technology has made it easier to access. Research into the social factors that may make some people more likely to watch pornography than others has identified religion as especially important in this driving factor, with high religiousness being related to low pornography use. While the prevailing view has been that religious groups' disapproval of pornography makes highly religious people less likely to use it, others have argued that pornography users are more prone to drifting away from religious practices. I'm getting to the kernel of the subject here now. A study conducted by Samuel Perry of the University of Oklahoma, involving the same individuals over a period of 6 years, from 2006 to 2012, measuring their levels of pornography use and religiousness as each time point in the study to help understand which direction the influence operates. The study sample included 1,314 adults who were representative of the U.S. population as a whole. Study participants indicated at each time point how often they viewed pornography, as well as several questions about their religious practice. Analysis showed that even after what the heck? Studies showed, even after controlling statistically for background factors such as age and gender, more frequent use of pornography in 2006 was related to lower religiousness in 2012. This was true even after accounting for religiousness in 2006, which indicates that pornography use in 2006 was related with subsequent change in religious involvement over the course of the next 6 years. I'm got you a little mixed up there, because I am. The nature of this relationship is complex. Pornography consumption was related to decreased subsequent religiousness until the consumption became more frequent than about once a week. At which point, increasing pornography became related to subsequent increase in religiousness. These findings were true for both men and women. That's just said that if you're just watching pornography every once in a while, you're actually kind of drifting away from any religious center. If you're watching it religiously more than once a week, you're getting more and more religious too. Your brain is desiring a religiousness in cohabitation with that pornography that you're feeding it. The author concludes that pornography use may have an impact on changes in religiousness. Exposure to pornography may make people feel guilty about violating the rules of their religion, leading them to distance themselves from that center point. That's the occasional user. The more frequent pornography viewers, on the other hand, may find ways of rationalizing their behavior to avoid feeling at odds with their religious convictions. Some may also turn to religion as a means of overcoming or atoning for a behavior that makes them feel guilty. Religious leaders, in particular, may find it useful to note that heavy pornography use may drive some closer to religion than further away. They cite the sources, they cite the study, and then there's 2 or 3 more that are ongoing right now. Where am I going with all of this? You know where I'm going? The programs of the world that we have been given, that we, from childhood, don't work. They don't work. They really mix us up. They fill us with guilt and shame. We hide our most natural self. We hide it. We put it in closets and we pretend it's not there. Don't let anybody see. We live with one of our most intrinsically instinctual passions, emotions, in secrecy daily. And then we try to atone for it. And then we try to convict other people for stuff we feel convicted for. I mean, this cycle. And when we add sex in, and then we pervert it into pornography, it's a wonder. It's a wonder we come out whole. That's why we have to do what we do here every day. We have to practice. We're fighting stuff that was born and bred into us. It still is. I'm still not running around telling you guys my sexual peccadillos. Oh man, if they found out about those, they might not like pops. Oh no, instead, society has said it's none of their business. Hide it. And I do, because the world told me to. And I squash it and I squander it. And then I go peek at pornography. And none of it's good for us. Not one bit of it is good for us. There's nothing wholesome. There's nothing wholesome in chasing the answer at some building with a bunch of other people that are all pretending they're not chasing the same answer. We're sacred people. We're sacred beings. What we emanate can be sacred. What we involve ourselves with, we want it to be sacred. There's not enough time on the planet. We're a drop in the bucket, guys. We're a teeny little tiny drop in the bucket this big. We're not even a very big drop. I'm a sand on the beach of the world. One teeny little grain. Man, I blink and my freaking time here is over. If we don't spend the time that we have not doing stuff that's going to ruin us, we want to spend it in practice and in a place that we're, if no one else, we're pulling ourselves forward. I've said this one to you guys before. Time. The time humans have been on our planet is about a comma. If all of the book of War and Peace, thick old volume, billions of words in there. One comma in the book of the War and Peace is about equal to the time humans have been on the planet. Or that's not true. Written history. Written history. About the 6,000, 7,000 years. Can you imagine that? And in that, I'm only 70 years of it. That's the only spot I get. I'm not even like a piece of ink in the comma. So inconsequential. And yet not. I'm not going to be afraid to tell you guys who I am. I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to follow these programs anymore. I'm not. When I identify a program like this one, I got to change it. If it's in me, I got to change it. And I can. I have the power to change it. I have Toltec power. Do any of you have Toltec power? What's Toltec power? Well, the book we're reading, the book of the Four Agreements, right? That's based, excuse me. That's based off of old ancient Toltec wisdom, according to our author. Okay? Toltec wisdom. So we're going back in time to pre-Columbian Mesoamerican times. Many people believe, and I'm not even going to sit around and say it couldn't be. Many people believe that that civilization was actually visited by extraterrestrials at some point, somehow, and a lot of knowledge was imbued into this civilization. They knew stuff way before anybody else ever knew it, and it disappeared with them. And now we're scrabbling to figure out, what did they know? And the more we find out, the deeper, and even if there were no alien part of it, just their civilization, the knowledge in their civilization was absolutely astounding. So I would imagine that they have some wisdom too. Toltec. The Toltecs were a pre-Columbian Mesoamerican culture that ruled a state centered in Tlaxcala Hidalgo of Mexico. Later, Aztec culture considered the Toltecs to be their intellectual and cultural predecessors. Aztecs came along later. They said, we're based off the Toltecs. The Toltecs were our originators in our thought and in our cultures. Toltec culture was at that time considered the epitome of civilization. Modern scholars debate whether the Aztec narratives of Toltec history should be given credence as actual historical events or not. Are they stories? Are they myths? Or are some of these things that we hear about the Toltecs actual historical events? Our modern day scholars are still trying to figure that out. Okay? Give me 1 second. Just think it's really neat to know a little bit more about Toltecs. I've been reading up on Toltecs for the last 2 days. And what I like to hear about it, or what I'm finding out, is that they were the bedrock civilization / culture for more cultures that came after, such to the degree that that their culture is almost considered mythical at this point, even though we're having a lot of historical and archaeological proof of their existence through more and more excavations throughout central Mexico. But what was fascinating was their mindset and how they ruled their, well, let's call it their religion. Oh, full on the OG culture, Jakob. Let's call it their culture, their religion. It was pretty basic. They didn't have a million gods, and they didn't have all this other business, and they were really basic. This is where Don Miguel Ruiz mined the information that he uses to sort of create this philosophy of the four agreements. Yesterday we were talking about a fog. That our mind is, we have this fog of envy and fear and emotional poisons planted in us. It's planted in us every time we watch pornography. Oh, that's what it's supposed to look like. I'm supposed to make a girl scream like that out of passion. You might as well act like you're Tom Cruise and you're going to jump out of the airplane with him. It's TV. It's bullshit. You're not going to jump out of the airplane with Tom. We fill our minds with poison. Sex being one of the biggest ones. We don't look at it from the wholesome, intimate, pure place that it is. We look at it from nasty. We look at it from guilt and shame. We look at it from, oh, big boobs, little boobs. Oh, I'll pay for those boobs. We buy boobs. What? What a fog. That's a fog. That's a fog. All boobs matter, Betty. How about, you know what happens every time? Not every time, but pretty often. I want them bigger. I got this set. I need them bigger. That's a fog. Yeah, we got a fog going on around us. We can see fog everywhere. And again, my favorite part of all this is we're not responsible for the fog machine. We didn't turn it on. We did not turn the fog machine on. But we know there's a switch now, don't we? We know there's a switch. See, for many people and most of their lives, they're walking around, they don't even know that there's a switch. They don't even know that there's a machine on. Give me 5 people who agree with what I just said. That was a pretty good saying. We at least know there's a switch. We can turn it off. There will be a residual fog left from and every once in a while you slip and poop, you hit the machine again, but we can hit the switch. And not everyone knows it. The more often we're near the fog machine and we can keep it on and off, the healthier we are. In the industry, you call them hazers. That makes sense. The Toltecs call it matot. They understood. They looked at their civilization and said, you know, there's a bunch of people in our civilization walking around in a fog. They're walking around in a matot. I love saying the word, just so I feel like I'm Mr. Toltec historian. Say it with me. Mitote. M-I-T-O-T-E. I really do want you to say it out loud. It's fun to say, and it's also, you'll plant it in your brain. When you're getting ready to hit the fog machine's coming on, say matote. M-I-T-O-T-E. Matote. Have you guys said it yet? That's good, Beck. Have you said it yet? Say it out loud. I mean that sincerely. Now you're an a Toltec historian. You practically know their whole language. Right? Yeah, well, when I was reading up on the Toltecs and I found out about their matote, you can really go big shot with this one. Okay? Your whole mind is a fog, which the Toltecs call a matot. Laws, give me 5 people. Anybody that said it out loud, it actually was fun. It rolls off the tongue very nicely. Matote. I'm being a nutbag. I'm acting like a goofball. My brain's in the middle of a matote right now. It's not that hard to say. It's not even that hard to see. When you're near the machine and you know where the switch is. Your mind, and the Toltecs call this fog a matote. Your mind is a dream where 1,000 people talk at the same time and nobody understands each other. You got a bunch of what was that? What was that lady with multiple personalities? What was her name? What was that lady's name? The multiple personality lady. Everyone's heard of the movie. What's Sybil? There you go, was. But you got like, you're not just one Sybil, you're like 14 Sybils at one time. Okay, right? I got a little girl, a guy, I got a grandfather, I got an assassin, I got a cowboy over here, I got a religious leader, I got a scientist, right? We're all Sybil. Matote. Sybil had a little matote going on. A little bit, little matote. Your mind's a dream. Where 1,000 people talk at the same time and nobody understands each other. At least with Sybil, they only talked one at a time, right? This is the condition of the mind. A big matote. When you're in the middle of a big matote, you cannot see what you really are. How can you, man? Can't even see your hand in front of your face. It's so foggy. I don't even know how many fingers I have anymore. In India, they call the matote a matote maya. A matote maya in India. And that means an illusion. It's not even there, folks. It's not even there. The fog's in your imagination. It's in your depression. It's in your anxiety. It's in that PTSD that you're holding on to. It's in your lack of willingness to forgive. It's in your envy. It's in your fear. In India, they call it the matote maya. In your personality, it's called, wait for this, your ego. Do you think your ego isn't foggy? Whew, when I'm listening, if I pay attention to mine, the non-healthy one, the one that's only 4 years old and it's still telling me what to do, it gets real foggy. Our ego is our internal personality's matote. The ego wants to kill you. It just needs your body to carry you around. So it doesn't kill you, it just makes you miserable. It really wants to kill you, though. There isn't anything about your ego that's trying to save you or save anyone around you. It's trying to build you up, trying to make you the important one, trying to make you the big shot, trying to make you the one. Pretty foggy. Everything you believe about yourself and the world, all the concepts and programming that you have in your mind, they're part of your matote. They're part of your fog. We can't see who we truly are. And when we cannot see who we are, we can't be free. That's why humans resist life. To be alive. is one of the biggest fears humans have. To be matot free. Death is not the biggest fear we have. Our biggest fear is taking the risk to be alive. Some of us, it's okay, I'll just die here on the couch in my depression. It's too risky to go outside. It's too risky to go down to the old folks' home and knock on the door on Sunday and say, can I read a book to Mabel? That's too risky. You won't do it. You're not doing it. It's too risky. That would be being alive. There would be no matotea the whole way there. You'd know exactly what you were doing. There'd be no fog the whole way. And I'm going to read chapter 7 to her this week. And next week we'll be reading chapter 8 together. Being alive means helping people. Being alive means taking risks. Being alive means telling the truth about who you are. Confessing things. Working through things together. Death is not our biggest fear. Our biggest fear is taking the risk to be alive. The risk to be alive and express who we really are. Even sexually. Can't let you know that. So I'll just masturbate to some pornography and get religious. That's matote. That's real confusing. Just being ourselves is literally the biggest fear that humans have. Remember that? You're afraid I won't accept you? Remember that? Remember how afraid you are? Remember how you might get kicked out of the sandbox and nobody wants you to play with them anymore? Go back to those feelings. Remember that? Being ourselves is the biggest fear of humans. So we put on acts. We put on civil hats that we don't, and we dive right into our matote. We dive right into it. And we go swimming around in the fog and we don't know where the hell we are. We lose track of who we are. We have learned to live by other people's points of view because fear of not being accepted and of not being good enough for someone else. During the process of domestication, we formed an image of what perfection is in order to be good enough. You even have this little image. If I'm just this, and add a little, just a dash of this, I will be perfect. They'll love me. They couldn't help it. You have this idea of what the perfect you would be. And you chase that perfection vision right through the fog. How could we even know what we're supposed to look like if we're in the middle of a fog? No matter what the vision of myself is, it's going to be foggy. We create an image of how we should be in order to be accepted by everybody. We especially try to please the other ones who love us, like mom and dad, big brothers and big sisters. Oh, we like to please the priests and the teachers. Human condition. We create this image, but the image is not real. We're never going to be perfect from this point of view. We will never be perfect from this point of view. Never. That was the dream that we were sold, and when we bought it, you bought a bridge. You brought a part of the Brooklyn Bridge. You got conned. You got conned. Have you ever been conned before? I have. You know what I do after I got conned? I learned my lesson. You know, I still have this one. I was dying for some crack cocaine. I was on, man, I couldn't stop. My binge was, I didn't want my binge to end. I'm out of my own personal, so I'm going to go hit the corner where I know crack corner. I drive up to crack corner and I give them my 20. They slip me my little crack nug. I drive away. I go to drop it in the pipe. It's a macadamia nut. I just got conned. Let me ask a question. Would you ever go back to that same corner to buy another one? Would you ever go back to that same corner to buy another one? No. No, I gotta find either a different corner, I gotta get back on my own supply. I got conned. I got conned. And I can learn from my lessons when I get conned. Well, we're not going back to that corner. No way. And I'm also checking to make sure your scale, you didn't bend the arrow. We get conned every day, all day. And what I want you to do is don't go back when you got conned. When you got conned, learn your lesson. When you get conned, learn your lesson. And you'll only have to pay once. In the justice world that I live in, I only have to pay once. I don't have to learn my lesson 5,867 times. I learn it once. And I treat myself justly. The way we judge ourselves is the worst judge that ever existed. You judge yourself worse than I judge you. Guarantee. You judge yourself way worse than I judge you. If we make a mistake in front of people, we try to deny the mistake and cover it up. But as soon as we're alone, the judge becomes so strong, the guilt becomes so strong, and we feel so stupid, or we feel bad, or we feel unworthy. So we dive into the fog. You know what would have been really easy? Go back. Back to when it first happened. Just be impeccable, say I made a mistake. Boop. No fog. I did it. And I'm not going to do it again. I'll learn from my mistake. And I'll only pay for it once. How foggy is that? Give me an answer. How foggy is that? We're clearing up all the fog. I did it. I was wrong. I'll never do that one again. I'll never be conned there again. And I'm not going to pay for it more than this time. In your whole life, nobody's ever abused you more than you abused yourself. I'm almost finished for today. The limit of your self-abuse. This is one of my favorite lines in this whole book. If you memorize something, this is something. If you memorize scripture, if you're one of the scripture memorizers, so you could look like cool, like I used to be. If you're one of them guys, memorize page 20. Memorize page 20. Second line on page 20. If you have the book, highlight it. The limit of your self-abuse. The limit of your self-abuse is the exact, wait, I'll read it. And the limit of your self-abuse is exactly the limit that you will tolerate from someone else. I'm not going to tolerate that abuse from you. You've limited how much abuse you take by how much you give yourself. You give yourself a lot of abuse, you're going to take a lot. You abuse yourself a lot, it's going to be real easy for me to abuse you. You don't abuse yourself, you're not letting me abuse you. You're out of the fog, baby. The limit of your self-abuse is exactly the limit that you will tolerate from someone else. How much do you tolerate from someone else? That's how much you're giving yourself. How much are you giving yourself? That's how much you're going to take. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. These things that we're learning are going to help us clear up the matot. And you're going to start walking around going, man, I'm not thinking straight right now. I think I'm driving right into a matot. I'm driving right into a fog bank. Let me put on the brakes. I'm not doing it. We'll pick this up tomorrow. We'll do a little. We'll continue on. We're on page 20. We'll pick this up tomorrow. Sound good to you guys? We're at 10:20. We're doing such a phenomenal job working our way through this book. And this is the foundation. We're just talking still about the dream of the planet. We haven't even begun our first agreement. Oh, the first agreement gets me all excited. So wait till we get into the first agreement. We only have a couple more pages left of the foundational chapter, which is in 2 pages left, which is explaining the whole idea of the dream of the world, that we live in a matot, that we've been programmed, that we're judges, that we're victims. All of this domestication, and every one of it has a silver lining. Every one of these things we talk about have a silver lining. The silver lining is we learning our way out. And then we're going to practice. We're going to practice. And we're going to get more chances like Free gave us this morning to practice not being envious. I'm actually really happy for that shroom. I'm not envious of him whatsoever, I think. Practice. Would you guys go have a beautiful day? I'll see you here tomorrow. Let's keep growing together. Let's keep doing the things that we're doing. Let's bring friends and joy to people at a river that we've never known before. We'll never see them again. And we planted smiles. There was no confusion. There was no fog there. I didn't see any fog banks around there. I saw sweetness. I saw joy. I saw share. Have a good day. Dustin, Derek Anderson, and Billy D, and Homeboy, and Mike Barball, and Penny, and Dustin, and Herbie Von Werby Kabop. I love you, Herbs. And Penny Pack and Cleany. There you go. Jesus Christ. I love that guy. I like that you let me make fun of you. Thank you. Enormous. There's my guy. Bud. Where do you? And Dustin and Derek and Nerdy and Sarah Bear. Thank you. And Nippy. And Homeboy and Cat Meowzilla Hags. Thank you for being here. Beck Z, you got to get the book. Penny Pack. Marcus, your mind is expanding. Mr. Phillips and Jolie. Good morning, Jolie and Wazzy. Free and Choop went to slightly too much. No, we're not going to be envious at all. For any reason whatsoever, Clean Grow. Greeny Herbs. 100 people. Enormous. Pacers and Jakob and Sarah Ripple and Jesus Christ and Mike Barball and Jimmy all the way to the max. Free, great pictures. Thank you for sharing. Badgie, love you. Jonathan K. all day. Saga Vegas. Michael Shanti. Seeds of goodness. Laura, have a divine day. The Waz, Sid, Herbs, 100 people. Thank you. Jakob, Jesus Christ. Lady, thank you for those pictures. Enormous. Notorious Noogs. Derek Anderson, Homeboy. Dustin, Pidgey Page. Jesus Christ. Bexy. Mike Barball. Pops, peace, love. Practice. Being impeccable. Not taking things personal. Don't make assumptions. And do your best. Just today. I don't care about tomorrow. Just today.